You are listening to Fox Radio 910 and 104.3. I want to welcome you to Let's Talk About, our weekly radio program sponsored by Crowning Touch Senior Moving Services of Roanoke, Virginia. My name is Linda Balentine, the president of Crowning Touch and your host for this series. I interview local characters, service providers, politicians, teachers, entrepreneurs, and business professionals, and each one is dedicated to improving life in our valley. Every person has an interesting perspective to share from all walks of life. So, let's begin today's interview. Welcome to Let's Talk About, and today we're talking about a very special place in our region, the Glebe, a continuing care community in Daleville, Virginia. And joining us is Shelley Shinkus, Director of Marketing and Sales. And since 2021, Shelley has been helping seniors and their families discover what makes the Glebe such a unique and welcoming place to live. Today, we'll learn about the wide range of services, the housing options available, the lifestyle residents enjoy, and what makes this community stand out. Shelley, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot right away and ask you, what first brought you to the Glebe? What was the path that brought you here in 2021?
Sure. Well, the path that brought me to the Glebe is having a history in senior living, sales, and marketing. Did you choose that route? I mean, senior living. I mean, was that a conscientious move that you made to serve seniors? This year, this is my 22nd year in senior living development.
Wow. So, you're knee deep.
Yeah.
You're a pro.
Right. So when I came to the Glebe in 2021, it was through the chief marketing officer with our parent company, LifeSpire of Virginia, based in Glen Allen, that had approached me because my predecessor was no longer going to be with the company due to retirement, and they needed somebody to come in and fill the role. And they had so much expansion on the horizon, and that's kind of been what I've done in my past with other communities over the 22 years. So it was an exciting time.
Well, they got the right person.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the rest of your background. Were you a nurse ever? I mean, let's go way back.
Sure. Well, to go even way back. So my background is a blend of marketing, hospitality, and nursing. However, it really started when I was, believe it or not, 3 years old in the hospitality industry with parents who were in the hotel industry. So as a child, I grew up in that environment and never knew a stranger. I had a pen pal list a mile long as a child.
Yeah.
Continued to go on to college out of high school for hospitality, actually. And that's what took me to Florida in 1998 to work for Disney at their first oceanfront resort.
No kidding.
So it initially started in the hospitality industry and working for other great organizations in the process. But of course, you're wondering how that links to senior living, right?
I get the heart part because if you're a people person, it's a small step to open your heart to seniors.
Right. But it was ultimately in my mid-20s, I was in a really bad car accident that put me in a nursing home for many months going through rehab.
Wow.
I had a spinal cord injury and some other severe injuries to where I wasn't sure what mobility I would gain back. And again, I was loving my job in hospitality, actually, from a perspective of working with the Los Angeles Dodgers at their spring training in Vero Beach, Florida as well. At the time, that's who I was working for. And somebody after the long road of rehab from this serious injury, I made a full recovery. Again, I had age on my side and a stubbornness to want to continue. I was informed of this retirement community looking for a salesperson. And at first I was like, why would I want to do that? But then my friends who had known what I'd gone through, a little bit older friends, said, you should check it out. And anyway, that's where my senior living background has all begun. And again, 22 years later, here I am loving what I do, putting people in a place that has all levels of support because you never know when things could change.
That's right. Shelley, this is probably a good time for me to ask you to describe your typical day. Some people may not know what a director of marketing and sales actually does here at the Glebe. I mean, because if anybody's interested who's listening to find out more about the Glebe, hopefully they'll be able to get a tour from you or your team. And that's part of your day. But explain what you do.
Right, right. Well, yes. My team consists of me and my assistant and a salesperson. We all sell those. So literally they could get a tour from any of us at any point. So give us a call. We're happy to schedule that. But as far as my role, there's a lot of other management responsibilities because being a continuing care retirement community that has many levels of support and care, I look at the overall transitions within the community as well to know what kind of openings we're going to have on the horizon because we do have a substantial wait list.
Right.
And we try to keep that managed with not only the internal moves from perhaps independent living to assisted living or memory care, but then, of course, bringing people in to those from the outside to backfill that. So there's a lot of management internally with moves with sales, but then the marketing side, of course, we're monitoring the website, social media, all the digital ads, all the things that come with a, marketing capacity. So.
That's a lot. For some people that may not know what a continuing care community is, do you want to break down the different segments and lifestyle type support that you give the various individuals that would come in here?
Absolutely. Because one of the things that I do when we do a tour isn't so much selling, it really is educating. We like to educate because people come to us oftentimes not really understanding what a community is, what does it offer. There's a perception of what communities were like 80 years ago out there, and they're much different. They're like cruise ships or resorts now. So basically what I like to do is really educate people because when you go look at a community, there's a lot of different financial models. You've got to find what works for you. You've got a lot of great choices in the Roanoke Valley. Mm-hmm. But the Glebe does offer something special called a life care contract. So we are a continuing care community that has literally every level of support. And what does that mean? That means independent living, assisted living, long-term nursing, skilled nursing, memory care, and we even have a fully licensed home care team that supports our residents within our community as well. So what the life care community or life care contract that the Glebe offers is yes, there is an entrance fee or a buy-in, like some call it.
Right.
But then there's a monthly service fee then that covers a whole host of amenities and services. But the big benefit is you're locking in that independent rate no matter what level of support you need down the road. The fee will not go up to the daily rate that one would pay to go directly into a higher care facility.
So do they have to come in as an independent? In other words, functioning independently. There's no way to come in midstream. You can't come in and do assisted living, for instance, and instigate the remainder of your life care, can you or not?
Right. Well, there's really two answers, two perspectives on that. So in order to lock in a life care contract, which again guarantees you locking in that independent rate, you've got to come when you're independent.
Right.
We do on rare occasions allow outside admissions directly into assisted living or our memory care, but that's only when someone who's bought into our life care contract, who's in independent living, because again, they bought in to guarantee them access to this support here in our community.
Right.
We don't have somebody that needs to transition to it at that time. We then could look from the outside, but you're still not going to be able to lock in that life care benefit because the life care benefit, again, to repeat, right, locks in that independent rate, which is much less than if you came directly to a higher level of care. You do have to come when you're independent, so you don't want to put it off too long.
Well, I'm familiar with the average age of a person that moves out of their home for the first time. That's 82 years old, but what is it about the average age of a resident walking into independent living from the way you see it here at the Glebe?
Sure. Well, it's an excellent time to get an update on those numbers since we are just completing our 22 new cottage expansion. Mm-hmm. The average age of those moving into these brand new cottages is around 70 to 72.
Really? A lot younger than I thought.
It is.
Well, that's because they want to take advantage of it. By the way, I'm a fan. So let's just full disclosure. I'm a big fan of the Glebe. And because it's such a beautiful campus out here in Daleville.
Thank you.
And you say it's 65 acres? Is that what it was? 63, 65?
65 acres.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've populated it or built out. How many cottages do you have now? Explain that a little bit.
Right.
The breakdown.
Sure. So in independent living, we with these new cottages we're adding, we will have 43 cottages, which are single-family homes. They range from around 1,500 square feet to a little over 2,500 square feet.
That is a lot of space.
Right. All with 2-car garages. But then we also have 133 apartments that are all in our main building, attached to a whole host of community center opportunities with amenities as well. So with that 133 apartments, those range from 750 square feet for the very smallest up to around 1,550 square feet.
Let's talk about the food, which is which is always a big deal. Do the people that anybody can take a, what is it, one meal a day? You have different plans, obviously, correct?
We do. So it used to always be with a lot of communities, one meal a day, right? But as times have changed and the needs of the consumer and the new residents coming in are changing, everybody wants more control and choice. So versus offering just one meal a day, we have a built-in allotment. Currently, it's $486, so almost $500 built into your monthly fee is just a spend-down allowance that you choose how and when you want to spend it. You can even get raw grocery items to take back to your cottage or apartment if you still like to cook and would like to benefit from it that way. You can bring guests and use it. We offer breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a fabulous Sunday brunch every day, every week. So again, just depending on how you'd like to eat, you can spend it however you wish.
And you have your own chef? Don't you have your own chef here?
We do. We do have an executive chef and director of culinary.
Pretty spectacular. In other words, so the service would put a smile on anybody's face. What about the other services that you offer? Do you have a beautician here? Talk about some of your other things that you offer people?
Sure. So with the accommodations, apartments, cottages, weekly or biweekly housekeeping, they come and clean for you every week.
Oh, nice.
Right. We have transportation services, literally all your maintenance services, even changing those high light bulbs and those recessed lighting cans in your ceiling. So literally you don't have to maintain anything for you anymore. All your utilities are included. So as far as services, there's a lot of those that are included. But then with our amenities, we are undergoing a very large renovation and expansion in our community center at this time, too, because the Glebe is 20 years old this year. So it's time for just getting us that facelift in addition to expanding on a lot of our spaces, including a multi-purpose room and various dining venues.
There are lots of recreational and social activities available to the residents. Is there a pool here? The Glebe?
Yes, we have a fabulous indoor saltwater swimming pool and jacuzzi.
Do people use it? Do they get out there and use it enough? Do they?
Oh, yes. So we not only have exercise programs such as water walking, water aerobics, and water volleyball, which I must tell you, started with a couple who came here, wanted to get it going, which we're consistently doing at the Glebe. We're always catering to whatever the needs of the current resident population is or whatever unique skill set or hobby they bring to the community. We're always changing and adding more. They started with 1 day a week and it's up to 3 days a week with water volleyball now. So very popular.
All right. How would someone qualify to become a resident at the Glebe?
Yeah. So first off, come take a tour. Give me a call. I'm happy to do that. And then ultimately, we do have a wait list. So that's kind of the first step is what we encourage. Our wait list is something we call the Circle of Friends. That's part of this exclusive group. It does give you a whole host of benefits to use before you even become a resident, because our goal is to allow you to come and try it. Come to some of our programs. Come try some meals. Meet some residents.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah.
So the process from the first inquiry to move in, what does that generally span? And I know you've had some wonderful symposiums out here, so to speak, where you invite people on out, you have speakers, they have an idea of, all that's going on, the services that can be made available to make their move-in easier.
Sure. Right.
Is there a length of time that it normally takes once somebody talks to you? Is there an average time? I mean, can they talk to you a year ahead of time? That's not too far ahead of time, is it?
No.
As a matter of fact, the wait list might be that long.
Correct. Our wait list right now is right around 350 parties long. Wow. So we encourage people to really look at community options. Start doing your research way ahead of ever needing it. Any place you're going to want to go is going to have a wait list. And if it's like ours, there is a $1,000 deposit to get on it. It is 100% refundable for any reason at all, but it's at least giving you an option. So while you figure it out, or, if something changes and you need to move sooner than you expected, at least you're already on a list.
Is there any other health-related criteria? Suppose they pay to come in as an independent, but by the time their time rolls around, what if one of them needs assisted living and the other comes? And you're going to accommodate all of that if you can, right? I mean, that sounds tricky to get all the foot in the shoe type of deal.
Sure. Well, the biggest benefit for the Glebe is to come when you're both independent, and you can lock in that life care contract, because it's going to lock in your independent rate that you're paying. So yes, as a couple, if you both come when you're independent and down the road your spouse's health needs change, they could then go get that support in a higher level of care, say assisted living, and you could stay in your independent cottage if that's where you moved into, and you keep paying that same rate you were paying for both of you in the cottage. It doesn't go up, even though you're now occupying two different places.
Yeah, that's a great thing, because otherwise, if you remain at home and somebody needs assisted living, then you're shuttling back and forth as opposed to being, in the same community,
right,
with your spouse.
Right, exactly.
And so this is a much nicer arrangement if you can go ahead and get a seat at the table, which is what we're trying to encourage people to do, is come on out here and take a look at what makes the Glebe so special. What does make you so special? Are there things that set you apart besides, the lovely environment out here and the beautiful view? What else?
Yes. Well, mountain views out literally every window certainly does help. We have a beautiful location, very walkable. A lot of walkers and outdoor enthusiasts here at the community. One of the big benefits, of course, at the Glebe is how our higher levels of care are all attached to our main community center building. And that's one of the things when you come take a tour that you'll see. You can walk literally, if you move into independent living, into an apartment together, you'll get used to all your hobbies, friendships, places you like to eat, things you like to do. And then as one of your needs change, both of your needs change, or if you're just a single person, right, you move to assisted living, it's all attached in this one big building. You never have to worry about getting moved to an entirely different building, perhaps on the other side of campus. It's all right here. So all those hobbies and friendships and meal times you would enjoy with everybody, you can still go do, because they're just down the same hall as they were from independent living, now that they are from assisted living. So we say we not only have a continuum of care here at the Glebe, but we also have this whole continuum of lifestyle that doesn't need to change just because you need a little extra support.
Yeah. And, if you're into, basket making or horticultural, some gardening efforts or something, you're going to find lots of other people here to enjoy that with. You have a nice library here too, don't you?
Oh, yes. Library with book clubs and poetry clubs. In this renovation, we're expanding, building our brand new craft sewing rooms, our art studio.
Wow.
We've got an 1,800 square foot woodworking shop.
That's a big deal. That's a big space.
Is a very big space.
The guys have to love it.
Oh, yes. So it's very unique. Again, I've been in this industry doing this for 22 years, and I've never seen a woodworking shop.
I know. That's just wonderful. Are there any common concerns or misconceptions that you hear when people come on in here? Is there something that surprises them the most, or that they didn't know about?
I would think really the friendliness of the people. I mean, everybody is very welcoming. You got to understand, you've got really about 340 residents here, right? They've all been through this. They've all looked at one time or another, and they've all been brand new moving into a community. They know what it's like. They're very eager to tell you about the community. And again, that's one of the benefits of being part of our Circle of Friends waitlist is you'll come to some things, you'll meet some people, and ultimately ask them questions. They're living the life here. What questions do you have? And they can answer it from a resident perspective.
Now, on the tour, do your residents even offer up some of their apartments as model apartments to look at, so people can actually look behind the scenes and see what's going on?
Yeah, very good question. Since we are 100% reserved and occupied, and we've been that way really for a solid 3 years now.
Wow.
You got to get on a list to get into the Glebe. We don't sit with models, right, because of this demand. So we do depend on our wonderful residents that are only a phone call away, that we can call and show various floor plans. Yeah, so yes, they do offer that.
And you would think they would actually be, proud of their new digs here. I know that, I would be. Are there any trends in senior living that you're, trying to accommodate? You mentioned something earlier about how people want to have more choices, and that affected your food plan.
Right.
But are there any other trends that you see, especially among, now you're getting you're past the first curve of the boomer wave. You're sort of really going into the deep with all of these people that were born from 46 to 64.
Right, right.
And, is there anything in particular that you notice that might even set them apart from, because since you've been in the business a long time,
right?
Is there something that makes them different than, for instance, the greatest generation, the generation that went before?
Sure.
Are they more demanding? Do they expect more? Are they more flexible? What is it?
Yeah, well, along with choice, I think we're seeing increases in wanting control, right? Control of their lifestyle, but then also how the care is going to be provided to them in the future. As an example, we have our fully licensed home health team right here in the Glebe. Unfortunately, they don't cater outside of the Glebe.
Yeah.
We do get calls that wishes our folks could come tend to them in their home out in
Sure.
the Botetourt County area or Roanoke.
Well, how does that work? Give me a sample of what a home health team would do for somebody that was already here.
Sure. Well, let's say somebody, in independent living is doing fine. Perhaps they've had a fall or they've had an illness that's put them in the hospital. It wasn't a serious enough case, whatever they were going through, to go into our short-term rehab, our skilled nursing, but they wanted to go right back to independent living. But maybe whether it's they live by themselves or maybe a spouse who isn't quite able to provide what they need, we do have a home health team that can step in and provide that temporary short-term just nursing care, companionship. And we also have a whole host of services that we can accommodate people, perhaps if they have a dog, say, right? And they start having mobility issues, we can have a companion offer dog walking services.
So pets are allowed here. There's a limit on, tell me about it. I see lots of little dogs out there.
Oh gosh, we love our pets. So yes, so we do allow cats and dogs. And I think there might have been a bird here and some fish as well. But yes, basically there is a limit in the apartments and of course the cottages. We don't really have a size limit, but you can have your pet with you here at the Glebe.
Now, what about your family? When your family comes to visit here, I know that some people want to try and they're trying to decide, can they afford the second bedroom or shall they just get a one-bedroom apartment? And they think sometimes, well, maybe my family will come. My experience has been that the family doesn't come as often to visit to warrant spending all of that money for an extra apartment just for somebody that might come once a year.
Right.
Do you have guest quarters here for family members to come? Or
Yes, we have 3 guest suites that residents can reserve for their friends and family. But that's a great point because that's always a tough thing for people. They're always downsizing typically to come to a retirement community. And that is always, a big source of frustration as they're looking, as going through that whole process, right? And so that's one of the things we always say is, you hate to get a larger apartment or cottage just for those occasional guests when we have 3 guest suites. And then one of the benefits of the location of the Glebe is we are literally across the street from the Daleville Town Center.
Which has grown. Daleville has really sprung up. Tell me about that community outside of you now that makes it possible. They no longer have to drive into Roanoke to get dental work done.
Right.
Or, Carillion is out here. There's a Y out here.
Yeah.
There are all sorts of restaurants, stores, CVS, correct?
Correct. And there is even more coming. So literally everything you would need on a regular basis is right here in Botetourt County in Daleville. I'm sure if you need certain specialists or something, you'll go into Roanoke. But again, we offer transportation services. So if that drive ever does become a problem, we've got that covered for you as well. But the town center right across the way, they've got great farmers markets throughout the summer. They've got a concert series throughout the summer. Yeah, right. There's more restaurants coming and a lot of conveniences, even a new hotel over there as well.
Is there any story or moment with a resident that has really stayed with you, either because they've been so appreciative or any problems that you've really solved for somebody that makes you unique or can it be an exhibit of how you reach out to help people?
Yeah, well, there's so many. Again,
I'm sure.
in 22 years, I've been fortunate to be a part of communities pretty much all over the Southeast, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. And so there's really not a lot. There's always people who stand out, right? There's always people who stand out. But as far as any particular situation, it really is just putting people in a place because none of us know what could happen tomorrow. But to have people in a place that when the inevitable something happens, that literally you've got a whole team. You've got a whole team of people here who are looking out for you. They're your advocates.
Right.
We're following you along if you go on an emergency to the hospital to make sure that you've got what you need when you're here, when you come back, whether it's coming back to your cottage or maybe you need some short-term rehab or some home health services. Again, we're all behind the scenes making sure you've got what you need when you come back.
Which is really important because from what I understand, the average child lives 200 miles away from their parent. Do you deal with a lot of the kids when they're making that decision, don't you? I mean, the ones that are able, don't they come and review the scene with their parents, or you'll be talking to them on the phone? You're willing to do that. You're willing to make the family, the extended family, feel comfortable, especially the ones that are out of town.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, from the sales process, the very beginning, I mean, I come in on weekends, right? Because I often know working adult children, right, can get out of town and come visit parents to see where they're looking to move on the weekends. So we're flexible in that situation. And then, the adult children are comfortable knowing that parents have made the decision where they want to go. They're not waiting until crisis mode. And they're all searching, scrambling, trying to find a place that has availability, and B, if they have availability, are they acceptable? Is that someplace you really want your parent, or do your parents want to go?
Right. When you think of the future of the Glebe, what excites you the most?
Oh, all this expansion. So we are wrapping it up the end of this year. It's a great time if you've looked at the Glebe to come look at the Glebe again, because it's going to look different. Big renovations, like I say, expansions of dining venues, addition of a pub tavern, fireside coffee bake shop, expanded multi-purpose room, new craft room, new art room. So there's a lot that's happening here. It's a great time to come look again. So really, it's all that's on the horizon. And we do have more on the horizon. We haven't announced it yet. It's not in the exact planning stages, but on our 65 acres, there will be more. So
so that's encouraging for people that are looking at a wait list.
Right.
And, and I'm sure you'll make that, notify the public when, you've got a timeline that you can relate to.
Yeah.
I think I was going to ask you one other thing here, and I'm going to ask you about the kind of feedback you hear most often from residents and families.
Is that they wish they would have moved sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know why they kept putting it off. They just wish they would have done it sooner because there's so much here to enjoy. And if you wait too long until mobility becomes a problem or it's just harder and to get out, you're not able to take full advantage of what we have.
It eliminates a lot of the worry. I know that the families that are thinking about leaving their home, which nobody wants to do, spends years fretting about it, as opposed to, stepping on out and, just checking it out with you would be wonderful. Can you give us quickly your phone number, the website for the Glebe?
Sure.
Let's share that.
So my direct number is 540-591-2201. And again, my name is Shelley. I'm Director of Marketing here at the Glebe. Or you can go to www.theglebe, that's theglebe.org.
Well, we hope today's conversation has given everybody a better picture of what senior living can look like when it's done with heart and vision, especially out here at the Glebe. Thank you, Shelley, so much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Let's Talk About, courtesy of Crowning Touch Senior Moving Services of Roanoke, Virginia, the only moving company with a consignment shop, auction house, and real estate division. We are a one-stop shop for any senior making a move. Check out our website at crowningtouchusa.com. Or if you are planning a move, call Anna at 540-982-5800 to arrange a free estimate. And don't forget to check out our monthly browse and bid auctions at 6712 Williamson Road in Roanoke, where you can bid online on over 1,800 items each month. Meanwhile, let's get back together next Friday at noon for more of Let's Talk About on Fox 910 and 104.3.